Good morning, folks on Zoom. Can folks hear me?
Yes.
Maybe unmute just, okay, great. So now you can go back on mute. We're here in Kendall Hall, and we have some participants who are sitting here. So we'll have our speakers here at the podium speaking mostly to the folks that are here, and then sort of side view toward the Zoom camera here. So we hope that works out okay. Diana's here to open up the meeting.
Good morning. We're glad to be here in this room. I welcome the people on the screen, and I welcome all of you who are in the room this morning. We're going to open with a moment of quiet, please, first. Thank you. You can't see it, but as we've gathered in the room, there's a grid on the floor on Kendall Hall of tape, and we've all been speculating on what this grid, which is 4 blocks by 4 blocks, each one about 2 feet square is, and thinking maybe it's a game we're going to play. And so we asked Jan what it was, and she said, I have no idea. And then after a minute, she said, I don't even like green. So I don't know, Jan. This is your turn to come up and talk.
Do your hopscotch on the way over.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh my, good morning, everyone. What a beautiful day out there. We are so grateful to be here this morning. So I'm going to start with a COVID-19 update. At this point, the testing for our staff is slowing a bit due to our current lower numbers, I should say, in Rockbridge County. We are now testing once a month, but that can change as those numbers go up. I don't know if anyone saw, but per the New York Times data this morning, Buena Vista and Lexington are back on top of the naughty list in Virginia from a COVID-19 perspective. We have received new measures from the governor that went into effect this past Monday. Some of those measures are all public and private in-person gatherings must be limited to 25 instead of 250. Essential businesses such as grocery stores, pharmacies must adhere to the guidelines of physical distancing, wearing of masks, and enhanced cleanings, or they will be cited if they don't, if folks are not following those rules. Restaurants, food establishments, and other businesses have also tightened guidelines as well. I do have to say that we are seeing over just the past couple of days more residents that have notified us and told us that through contact tracing, there is a possibility that they have been exposed to the virus. So it is still out there. It is still something we need to be cognizant of. And they are quarantining as expected. So if you have been notified that you could have been exposed by a contact of any kind, you need to let us know so that we can walk you through the expectations of quarantining. So obviously the change in the 25 or under for gatherings have forced us to rethink our strategy for the Thanksgiving meal in the Anderson dining room. And Judy will be up here in a few minutes to give you an update. But please know that these plans are still under consideration. Nothing is written in stone at this point. Phase 3 update. Oh my, we continue to put pressure on Nielsen to finish the project by the end of December. We do our absolute best to remain positive about the completion, but I ask you, please do not uncross your fingers or toes yet. We still need that support. Borden has had a substantial inspection last week for the new office spaces, rehab, and the former activity spaces. The Virginia Department of Health inspector was also out on Monday to do his inspection, and all went well. We're just waiting on some paperwork there to know how we proceed forward. Carpeting is going into the hallways in Borden. The ramp is progressing, and the lift is actually expected to be shipped by the end of November. In Webster, there are 6 apartments that need to be completed. The country kitchen is progressing in Webster with cabinets and countertop installations. And the covered walkway is also on its way to completion as well. Sunrise Ridge, landscaping work such as aeration, grading, and reseeding and sodding continues to be the focus for us on Sunrise Ridge. Driveway replacements for 8 cottages was rescheduled or is being rescheduled due to the rain last week. All the ponds have been converted and operated well during our recent rains. The paving around the circle is finished and the punch list is starting to dwindle down, which is good news as well. They are also working their way out from Mount Mina with hydro seeding and sodding, but still there's a lot of work. Rocks need to be removed as well as other debris. There is no doubt that at this time, we will be seeing Nielsen back next spring to complete some of the unsatisfactory construction, landscaping work specifically. A little update on the strategic plan. The strategic planning committees have started to meet or will be planning to meet very soon. The focus this year will be on our year 1 goals around information technology, the dining experience, campus beautification and the use of indoor and outdoor space, the employee workforce, dementia issues, transportation, and resident programming. So lots to do, lots to achieve, but I do want to say I truly, truly appreciate the residents and the staff's participation on all of those committees. Little update on the budget. The 2021 budget will be going to our board for approval this Thursday. Mark your calendars for the 11th of December at 10 a.m. Felicia will be presenting the 2021 budget via Zoom to all of the residents. I have to say that our biggest goal this year was to take a look at our lower paid staff, increase those wages, not only to ensure our compliance with the new minimum wage stipulations, but to lay the solid groundwork for a more livable wage for those folks. We can't get there in 1 year, but we do have a plan to get us there. We felt that this was a critical move for Kendall at Lexington at this point, considering the need to attain good current staff members, attract new staff to fill positions, and looking at our tough recruiting competition with W&L specifically. It really is critical that we have the right people in the right seats on the train so that it continues to move forward in the right direction. The capital budget has been created, and the biggest known cost, and I say known because you never know, the biggest known cost for us next year will be the Anderson heating and cooling 2-pipe system. It is my understanding that this has been a long-awaited project, so it has been moved to a priority status and it will be done. Please know, thank you. It wasn't me, and the board has to approve it yet, so I'm speaking prior to them approving, but I don't think we'll have any issues there. Please know that it's never easy to take all the residents' wants and needs and break it down into 1 or 2 items. We heard from many and do appreciate all the suggestions. I think by creating the 3-year rolling capital budget that Felicia and I want to do, we'll be able to keep many suggestions on the radar screen for future years. This year, the critical need for the 2-pipe system was evident, and the selection of the new sound system for Kendall Hall, I think, can be considered a win for all residents. Staff, along with the board, will continue to do our very best to keep your monthly increases reasonable. I've been doing budgets for many years, and I know that many of you have done them as well. It's truly a game of balancing priorities. And I always tell the residents, be careful what you wish for, because someone has to pay for it. So I want to go back to the subject of COVID. I really have been struggling with how to address this issue with the upcoming holidays. I know that many of you are tired of the seclusion and really feel the need to be with family during the holidays. So not an easy decision all around for all of us. My answer came late yesterday afternoon after attending a Zoom leading age presentation with Dr. Scott Gottlieb, a former leader of the Food and Drug Administration. And I'm going to tell you how he sees it, because it really did make me reconsider my plans. We are now in the top of the 7th inning of the pandemic. The next 3 innings, i.e. the next 3 months, are going to be the most critical and the most dangerous. There is absolutely no guarantee that we will not be hit by the baseball, otherwise known as COVID. So you must stay vigilant and not let your guard down. Later last evening, as I was perusing Facebook, I came across a quote that really hit me hard. It said, "We isolate now, so when we gather, no one is missing." As of last night, my family's Thanksgiving gathering has been postponed to a later time when we can safely gather and celebrate much more than Thanksgiving. It's a hard decision, folks. My staff's really struggling with what to do, and we are still thinking and contemplating. It's not just me that makes that decision. It's a group of us. And I will promise you that we will have a final decision made for our Thanksgiving by this Friday. So, sorry about that. I get choked up. It's a hard decision for all of us. And it was the same for my family, but we really did feel that postponing, we didn't cancel, we postponed. So, have a great week and have a safe and healthy Thanksgiving.
Judy, why don't you go? Jessica's been.
Oh,
there she is.
I'm sorry. Thanks a lot, Judy.
Sorry.
I'm gonna go next because Judy's still got her tissue going there. So it is really difficult decision to make. So emotional decision. I know Katie and Kevin will be joining me as well. Wanted to give you an update on our occupancy. Yesterday we had 4 available residences. Now we have 7. So within 24 hours, 3 residences were turned over to marketing to reoccupy. So there's 2 cluster cottages and an apartment that were all are all now available because folks have moved to assisted living or somewhere else. So we have now 7 available residences. 2 are reserved. We think we have strong interest in 3 of them, even one of the ones that recently came open. So we've had a lot of transitions this year, and I think we're going to have a lot next year as well. So as always, thank you so much for everything you do to welcome folks. Kevin's going to mention one thing we have going on tomorrow to help keep residents and our prospects connected. And of course, if you have friends, get them to move here. So no, we have a good strong wait list, but we do see folks saying, I think I'll wait till a vaccine comes out, or, there's not a lot of fear of being here. I think people do feel that living in a community like Kendall will actually protect them more than in their own homes, but it's the process of moving is all already filled with so much anxiety. Now you add on top of it that there's going to be realtors in your home and movers in your home, and it just adds a lot to that. So we're seeing that more. So if you do have friends who are planning to make a move here, of course, I know you support them so much, and you support us too. So I thank you for that. Katie?
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, as Jessica said, you know, a lot of people are not scared to move here because of COVID, but they don't want to make the transition right now. So after our busy October, we saw a slowdown this month as far as tours and waitlists go. But that being said, we still did get 3 waitlist agreements from Kansas City, Lynchburg, and from Westernport, Maryland. But I'll go ahead and turn this over to Kevin.
Tours were a little slower this past month too, but the ones we had were good ones. 2 Saturdays ago, I toured with a waitlist member from Lexington, Kentucky. And she, after taking the tour of the campus with her adult son and daughter-in-law, decided she's ready to move. So we were able to advance her from the wait list to the ready list. Now we just have to find the right size residence for her, but I expect that she'll be moving here sometime in 2021. Katie had a couple from Charlottesville who toured with her last week, and we have 2 tours coming up this coming Monday. One from Floyd, Virginia, and a 1965 W&L grad who currently lives in South Carolina will be coming. He's a waitlist member who will be making his very first visit to the campus on Monday. Jessica mentioned we are continuing our Zoom sessions for prospects and waitlist members. Our next resident speaker panel will be tomorrow afternoon with 8 of our independent living residents answering questions for our prospects and our waitlist members, questions about why they chose Kendall at Lexington and how they're staying connected with the community during a pandemic. And finally, I want to mention a move-in that we had since our last Residents Association meeting. On Friday, November 6th, Dorothy Schonemann moved here from Richmond, Virginia. She now resides in apartment 123 in Cox Hall. Her quarantine is over, so you'll be seeing her about. She's already signed up at the fitness center for swimming and classes. And when you see her, please welcome Dorothy. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Heidi, Heidi ho, how are we today? I got this camera in my face, thank you. I think I'm good. Do I look good? So as Jan alluded to, we do have a reduction in how many people can gather in our dining room, which kind of threw just a little wrench in the whole Thanksgiving process. We're down to 25. Now, many of you are thinking, that's great, they have 10 more seats. No, 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 no. That has to include the servers as well. So first of all, the current strategy is to go ahead and do an early delivery on Thanksgiving, perhaps a half an hour earlier than you normally receive your meals. That can then open up staff, at my kitchen staff, to go ahead and prepare to serve 2 seatings at 20 each. That would be 7 tables of 5 tables of 4. And with 3 servers, that would be ample sufficiency. You'll have plenty of service as needed. The seatings would be at 12 and at 2. Now you're all thinking, I want to call and get the 2 o'clock seating. Please do not call me. You will be selected by straws. It's the best way I can do it. And did we lose me? It says Mike Singleton. Hi, Mike.
Husband's trying to call here. Okay, you were still getting tape.
So I know you all want the 2 o'clock seating, and it's not fair that everybody call me for that 2 o'clock seating. Food committee meeting decided yesterday for all you on diets. Guess what? You're all getting desserts. Pumpkin pie, everybody gets desserts on Thanksgiving. Again, do not call me if you do not want desserts. I'm not tracking it. It's a 1-day only deal. So please work with me on that. My biggest concern, with COVID is you guys come to my dining room. 2 couples have already backed out. If you feel the need to not come, you may call me. If we get down to 12 people that I'm serving, it won't be worth the additional labor or expenses. So at that point, we will shut it down. Anybody that comes into the dining room needs to be temped, whether I'm there or not. So if you think you're going to be sly and say, let's go to the dining room at 6 p.m. on Thanksgiving, we can sit down and have a nice Thanksgiving dinner together. No, you're not welcome. If you bring this COVID into the dining room and my staff gets sick, you're going to be sick and tired of my cooking in a matter of 2 days. Besides the fact that IL may definitely become independent living. My concentration then turns to the Borden and the Webster folks, and we won't be able to do everything for 245 residents. So keep that in mind. If you're having second thoughts, I, for one, would appreciate the fact that you might back out. It's safest for all here, both residents and staff. Yes, Ms. Gordon Baker.
If you do decide that this is not a good idea for you in person, can you get the dinner to come to your house for apartment?
Absolutely. So the question is, can I get the meal delivered to my apartment, cottage, house, whatever? That Survey Monkey's going out. If you're dining in the dining room, select your meal so I know what I'm serving you. If you're not, you will have deliveries as usual. So absolutely, just fill in your meal. If you're going out or off campus, contact trace, please fill in no meal. So again, I know what I need to produce. In closing, I just want to wish everybody a happy, safe Thanksgiving. And not for nothing, you are what you eat. Excuse me.
Well, when I came up here just now, I saw a few faces kind of grim, thinking about how, well, here we go again. And as I was listening to Jan, and yes, it was moving what she was saying, and what Judy was saying, I think, okay, we just have to do it, and we have to do it together to keep each other safe. I think we all need to make I know we need to make personal decisions about what we feel is right, and thinking about the entire community. This is not the way we would like to see it by a long shot. And we have some things that are positive that we're going to be doing that will be coming down on the agenda. But I need Bill Shelstead to come up here because this has to do with dining. You may remember way back in January and February, we had a contest where you got to say when you thought we might be eating in the dining room. Well, Bill is going to update you now on that contest.
Good morning. I wonder how many folks here will recall this form. You see, I have a whole bunch of them. We filled this out in early March, and at that time, I think we all felt reasonably safe from the COVID thing, and it would be a brief passage of time before we met together in the dining room. Well, we were off by quite a bit. Judy says that the original idea was that the dining room would open on the 23rd of March. And then the seriousness of the epidemic caught up with us. And we said, we can't open now, we'll open in the future. And that's the point at which we ask you to fill out the form. I must say, going through all these, yesterday the resident council went through all this and all the entries. And I gotta say that we have more optimists in Kendall than we have pessimists. But we did have some either pessimists or, in my case, I think, smart alecks. I projected the opening to be on Mother's Day, and that was way, way short. Well, long story short, we got 126 entries, which is pretty good, we thought. We had also asked for some money to do good works with, and we made, on opening yesterday, we got $184. And that money, I believe, has already been passed to the Staff Appreciation Fund, which is a good cause. I think we all agree. Again, long story short, we have 3 winners, which is odd for two targets. We had 2 people who actually picked 23 March. And one of them just walked in the door. Karen Miller.
This is so you guess closest to when the dining room was gonna open.
Here's the prize. Here's the prize. All the winners will get a bottle of one sort or another. Sarah Giddings was the other one that picked correctly. And there was
Thanksgiving?
beg your pardon?
They said Thanksgiving?
I didn't understand.
Did they say Thanksgiving?
No, they said 23 March.
Oh,
That was the original idea. The next winner was who came closest to the Thanksgiving that we're looking forward to. As I said, I was being kind of a wise guy and I put down Mother's Day. Nancy Ruley got pretty close. She, for some reason, picked a date late in August, but that wasn't good enough. And Steve Mick picked September 12th, and he came closest to the coming Thanksgiving. Oddly enough, he picked my birthday. I have no idea how that worked, but in any event, all winners will get a bottle and our best wishes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bill. I just thought it'd be fun for Karen to be in here, and Karen kept saying, no, 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 I don't want to come in. But it is a little bit past the time that we thought that it would be happening, but nonetheless, good work. Some things coming up in the future. I want to tell you about what was mentioned yesterday in the extra edition. This is a Santa to a senior. And I'd like to tell you a little bit more about this and how it came about. Jessica got a letter from Jerry Schaff, who is the director of the Valley Program for the Aging Senior Center in Buena Vista. And the Valley Program for the Aging has been in existence since 1974. And their goal is to empower those 60 years and older with the resources and opportunities they need to lead engaged lives. Sounds kind of like what we do here. And one of the programs that they have is that they, for the Meals on Wheels, our Meals for Shut-ins program, and they deliver a Christmas bag of more or less necessary or comforting kinds of things. And they wrote to Jessica and asked her if Kendall would like to participate. So last Friday, Jan, Jessica, Becky, and I got together and talked about it And it seemed to us that it would be a good idea for Kendall to participate in this program for seniors, such as we are. And we could have taken, yes, we'll do 50 of the bags, but we decided let's take on 150 bags for all of those. These will go to people who are receiving meals for shut-ins, Meals on Wheels. And so here was the plan that we came up with. There are some items that are listed in, there will be an email coming to you and paper copies to those of you who get paper copies. And it will list the kinds of items that they want, which includes a box of Kleenex, some hand rub, some sugar-free cough drops, Kleenex, things like that, and a coloring book for fun and colored pencils. We are going to do this by you on the sign up monkey can sign up to do 1 or 2 bags if you want. Or if you don't want to go out and shop for the different items on the list, you could write a check. And we've arranged that you can write the check to Kendall at Lexington, and in the lower left-hand corner, put Santa to a senior on it. And we will do some ordering probably online to get the rest of the items. Kendall has said that they will buy the fleece robes or rugs or blankets that people put around them. They have done that part. And then the residents and staff together, we're participating in this jointly. We'll get the rest of the items for the bag. And a little bit later, we will arrange a putting in the bag party, because the Valley Program for the Aging will provide nice Christmas plastic bags. And we'll go around and we'll fill them in. So that's something that our Kendall community will do for others in the broader Rockbridge area community of Lexington, Buena Vista, and Rockbridge County. And I think that this is a wonderful project for us to look forward to in this season. Another event coming up is a craft show here on Tuesday, December 1st. You've gotten a notice out. Ruth Toffel and her crew have organized this. And to date, we have 9 different residents. I don't see a staff on here later, but this is open to residents or staff members participating in what they sell. And this is open only to residents and staff to come into Kendall Hall, and we'll have the limit for the number of people here. But you'll be seeing more information about this, but this will be a nice holiday activity for us. We're also going to be having the holiday decorations going up, led by Nancy Ruley, and that is being organized for sometime around the early second week in December. So we'll see that, and that will be festive and nice. And there will be a tree, just with lights on, out on our new deck out in the front. That will be a nice addition for our new space there. Jan mentioned the strategic plan and how we're implementing that plan. I have talked to some of the different residents that are going to be involved in this in the process. And I think it's really nice to actually see moving forward in action what came together as a document in the strategic plan, and then how you move to the next steps on implementing them. And having seen some of the working documents as they progress, there are many of the different items on there that were mentioned in all of the budget suggestions, which all of you made last August and September and were turned into administration. That led me to see, yes, we're working on this together, and we are being listened to, and some of the things that we think are important. So they are in the strategic plan, and I'm glad, and now we get to participate in making that actually happen. I do urge you to attend the budget presentation by Zoom, or for a few of you here in Kendall Hall on December 11th. I think it's important that we understand in more detail than Jan was describing today, some of the decisions that go into thinking about the budget. It isn't just what we'd like to see on the campus. It also involves thinking about staff, and the wages that staff gets, and some of the other things that are necessary, the ongoing maintenance and the capital budget, and the necessary things that go into running this large and complex organization. So I urge you to participate in learning more about it when Felicia, and I would take it that Jan will be there, will give you more of an idea of what it is that's happening. The next item on my list is the planning committee. The planning committee, as I have mentioned before, involves 4 residents. There's 2 of us here and several members of the core leadership team in figuring out as a campus, what are some of the next steps we're doing. After we went to step 4, we heard some comments about, oh, that's good. And we heard some others of, oh, I think that's going in the wrong direction. This is difficult because we listen to all of the comments that come in, and they're made, the decisions that are made are based on the circumstances at that time. Obviously, with coronavirus going this way on the charts that we look at, we'll have to keep considering what all of those are. But again, this is participatory. This is not only staff seen from the staff point of view of what's going on in safety, but also from residents and what we hear. We really would appreciate hearing more. Some of your comments, and you are listened to. I want to tell you that you're listened to when you make some comments. But again, we have to work on staying safe together. Now, I've said that a couple times and you've heard it other times. So I think it's time to move on to a couple other items that are on the agenda. And I'm going to ask Joe Scovira to come up now. He has chaired our nominating committee. And this moves to the official part of this, which is our annual meeting.
Thank you, Diane. Appreciate the introduction. You've been hearing from me for some time now about our nominating process. After our last meeting in October, I sent you a copy of the slate of all our proposed officers, asked you to comment or question bring up any issues related to that slate that you might have. I received none. I did receive numerous comments from residents who liked the slate and thought it was going to be a really good team put together for next year. So we're really excited about that. So since I have no objections, I'm assuming we have a consensus approval of the slate. Our new officers will take their office on January 1st. Of course, some of them are already existing officers, so they don't get a break. They have to keep on working through next year. I would like to take just one last minute to thank all the residents for comments, for talking to us about people they thought would be good as officers. And the nominating committee spent a fair amount of time on this. And I think the folks did a really good job. And we appreciate all your help. And we wish the new officers good wishes, best wishes for 2021. Hopefully a much better year than 2020. I think we're all looking to get out away from 2020. Thanks, Diane.
Normally what we would do is then say, ask for a consensus for everyone here, but this is a different year. So we welcome the 2021 board and we thank the people. But I wanted to add that we usually do not have a residents association meeting in December because there's a lot going on. And I think because all of us want to keep informed about what is going on around the campus and so on, that this year we will have a meeting the third week. I think I put down, I think the 15th or 16th, I don't know what it is, but we will be having a regular December Residents Association meeting for more updates. And now Sarah has some good news.
You stole my thunder, Diane. I was going to say I have good news.
That's okay, twice as good.
Twice as good. You have been absolutely wonderful in your donations to the Staff Appreciation Fund. We have already set a new record for the amount collected, but we're also we're very close to another milestone step, and I'm not going to tell you what it is so that you will not know that you will know that you need to give to reach this step. And hopefully we will hit a new goal. Bill had mentioned that the money that the $184 that we collected from the dining room contest has already been included in our staff appreciation fund numbers. I turned that in yesterday, so that money that you've already given is also included. You have 1 week. We're going to close the books next Wednesday for this time's staff appreciation fund. And I hope that whether you've given or not, give generously, hopefully. Thank you.
Tell about the party.
Well, the party will be, you may remember in the good old days, we used to have a big party. Hopefully, we will have a party that just to the extent of inviting the staff to come and pick up a complimentary cookie and a cup of cider, and somebody from the Residents Association, and hopefully a few residents will be here to represent our thanks, and that will be on the day that they get their checks, which will be December the 4th. And more information will come probably in the Connections Extra.
Thanks to Sarah for coordinating that. Thinking about how we go about doing things, the Residents Council spends quite a bit of time thinking about logistics. And so Sarah has set up a chart of a few residents to be here to thank the staff, and we're going to stagger the times that staff can come or that we recommend. And because this is kind of a different year, she made the list to begin at the end of the alphabet. So we're going to go from Z to A this time. And since my maiden name is W, I welcome thinking about us going in the different order instead of always having to wait till the end. End of the year activities that we're doing. As you I know you've heard, at each year we ask you to sign up again for a committee that you want to be on, or maybe you want to try a new one. But it is important that you actually sign a paper saying this is the committee that you, or committees that you wish to be on, and put those in Doreen Fulson Logan's box, which is number 1002, and so that she can compile the list. And I have been talking to some of the conveners for the different committees. Conveners can serve a second consecutive year, and then after that, new conveners need to be selected. So these are just some of the things that happen at the end of the year as we prepare for the new year. Whew. Are there any other comments? I wonder, maybe Jessica knows why all these green grids are here. Is that yours?
Nope. Jan doesn't know, and no one in here knows, so it's very mysterious.
Jessica said no one knows, and so we don't know what it is. If you want to. Oh, you know. What is that?
I came in this morning and I believe Brandon over at Gordon Center, the new healthcare administrator, was having some team building.
Do you want to tell them?
Sure.
Judy's going to tell you about the green squares.
That was my guess.
So I stuck my head in because I saw some activity going on here in Kendall Hall when I arrived about 8:30, 8:45. And the new healthcare administrator had part of his team walking in these squares, yes, no, no, yes. So I know that's not a lot of information, but that's all I got. Besides the fact that I think I'll be calling him and telling him to pick up his tape.
If Brandon might be on the call, he can unmute if you
Oh.
want to say.
Hey, Brandon, if you're on the call, unmute and tell people what it is. Okay,
He's gonna try.
no response. So is there anything else that anyone here wants to bring, or anyone on the Zoom call? I am only seeing myself, so I would trust that Katie would let me know.
Or they can unmute if they have something.
Okay. If not, our next meeting will be Wednesday, December 16th. And let's stay safe and try to keep a smile. Thanks.
Yes. There was a lot of action in that meeting.